Hi, I'm Rachel Bell. I am the co-founder and VP of Marketing at Overcup Press.
There we go. So the first question I want to ask you, I just want to ask about Overcup's timeline. So how it got started and what inspired it and what it looked like creating Overcup Press.
Well, Overcup got its start when my life partner slash husband went to Portland State University's master's degree in publishing program. And when he graduated, we decided to start our own publishing company. And we did a Kickstarter for our first book, and it was successfully funded. And then we were just off and running publishing books.
I also think like what's really cool about independent publishing and the fact that y'all started this is that what I think is so cool about it is that I feel like it's less daunting to aspiring authors. So as someone who has worked in independent publishing, what is your favorite part about independent publishing?
I think my favorite part is that it's in some ways on a smaller scale in terms of how you can work with the authors that are part of your press. So I'm very happy to say that I have met all of our authors in person. Many of them have been to our home, and we've been to many of their homes as well. So it's nice to know that we can actually take the time to get to know and develop real relationships with our authors.
Yeah, it's really personal, which I feel like makes for a really great experience for both you and the author. Even though it's like independent book publishing, I just like book publishing in general is very like multifaceted. It's very competitive. So what keeps you inspired to keep doing the work that you're doing?
It is a friendly competition in the book industry, especially among small presses, because we really do all go up together. If one of us is successful, we hope that all of us can be successful in our endeavors. And the reason why I keep pursuing it is because there are just so many amazing stories that the world needs to hear. And large publishers aren't necessarily going to take the time to craft and mold those stories the way that small presses are able to do.
What is one line of advice that you can give to aspiring authors to help make their book come alive?
One piece of advice that I could give them is to be yourself and find your own voice and tell your stories that way, because the more authentic that your book feels, the more it's going to connect with the readers in the world.
Since you have been in the industry for quite some time, what is the most important thing that you've learned and would love to share with me, with anyone, with the audience?
I think that we're always learning new lessons every day, and a lot of lessons were learned over the past few years as well too. But plan early, work with your vendors as partners in order to be able to produce the books you want to produce on time and within your budget, and be patient for the right stories to come your way.
What is the most challenging part of book publishing and how do you solve it?
The most challenging part is getting in front of booksellers, because even though a book is in a store, if the booksellers who work at that store aren't familiar with your title, getting that book into the right reader's hands at the right time can be a little bit hard. And I'm on the board of directors of a trade association called Pub West, and we're actually working to try to integrate that more into the work we do. We, of course, have a distributor, IPG. We have a sales team through the distributor, but no one's going to sell your title to a bookstore and to a bookseller the way that you are going to sell it yourself.
Lastly, I wanted to ask this question because I've never been to Portland. I would like to go to Portland. But how do you think Portland inspires Overcup's publishing thesis? Because I just feel like Overcup has a lot of unique titles, and I feel like sometimes geographically books can be inspired from that. So do you feel like Portland inspires y'all's publishing thesis?
I do think it inspires our thesis of, we want to publish books about the Pacific Northwest. We want to publish literary nonfiction. There is a really passionate small group of publishers based in Portland. We have some amazing bookstores, and a really great book selling community. So I think that also draws a lot of readers who are curious about finding different things. And we do have some local and regional titles. And that, of course, puts us more in the forefront of some of our local bookstores. But we also have the opportunity from that to then use that as a launching ground to publish titles about different topics. And I think that that becomes really important as your press continues to grow is, that we do have a thesis about the types of books that we publish and that we want to stay true to that. It helps agents who are pitching to us know what kind of books that we publish as well. And authors can look at the similar titles that we've published to say, oh, well, you published this book by Chris Forhan or Gail Brandeis. And so those really align with what I'm trying to do. And it helps authors find us.
Yes, definitely. Well, those are all the questions I have for you today, but I appreciate you taking your time and sharing all of your amazing insight and giving a little bit more of just insight to the independent book publishing industry, especially Overcup.
Well, thank you, Taylor, for taking the time to ask all these great questions.